Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine for a moment how one individual, through sheer commitment and, well, a lifetime of dedication, can really illuminate pivotal moments in a nation's history.
Yeah, not just as someone watching, but as someone in it.
Exactly, as a direct participant. And that's precisely the kind of profound impact we're diving into today. We're exploring how deeply personal narratives can shape our understanding of national history, revealing how one voice can truly become, an indispensable chronicler, weaving together memory, technology, and just unyielding truth. Our focus for this deep dive is the remarkable life and work of Mr. Tombossa Asmelash Berhe. He stands as a leading voice in Eritrean literature and an accomplished journalist whose career now spans well over 34 years.
That's quite a stretch of time.
It really is.
Yeah.
And what makes his position so truly unique and so compelling for our exploration is how he's been both a participant in and then subsequently a dedicated storyteller and chronicler of Eritrea's armed struggle for independence.
Right. He lived it, then wrote about it.
He brings a perspective that few others can. An unfiltered, lived experience that transforms historical fact into vibrant human narrative.
And what's truly fascinating here is the universal, the enduring importance of documenting history through firsthand accounts.
Absolutely.
Especially in shaping public understanding and actively countering, the pervasive tide of misinformation we see everywhere. A single, authentic perspective, like Mr. Tombossa's, offers an incredibly powerful, unvarnished window into a nation's past. It's not merely about recording facts and dates.
No, it's more than that.
It's about capturing the spirit, the immense challenges, the sacrifices, and the deeply human experiences that make history real and relatable. In an age where narratives can be so easily distorted or forgotten, these personal testimonies become, bedrock.
Bedrock. That's a good word for it.
Yeah.
And so our specific mission today is to explore Mr. Tombossa's truly multifaceted journey. We'll trace his extraordinary path from his very early days as a youth caught up in the armed struggle to his pioneering work in media and IT in the nascent post-independence era, and most importantly, delve deeply into his two seminal books, Keyahti Embaba, which translates powerfully to Red Flowers.
Red flowers, okay.
And Kmehar, Diye, Kigadel, a title that encapsulates a profound internal conflict. It's crucial to emphasize that this entire deep dive is drawn directly from his own words, from a comprehensive, in-depth interview he gave.
So it's straight from the source.
Exactly, allowing us to present his story with unparalleled authenticity. So get ready to be immersed in a truly extraordinary life story that intertwines personal destiny with national struggle. Okay, so to truly grasp the significance and impact of his literary and professional work, we first need to meet the architect of this living memory, Mr. Tombossa Asmelash Berhe himself.
Let's do it.
He was born in Asmara in 1966, a time of growing political tension in Eritrea, obviously.
Right.
His early childhood saw a significant, though perhaps seemingly ordinary, relocation to Nefisit due to his father's work as an architect.
Ah, okay, so a bit of moving around early on.
Yeah. This detail hints at a mobile early life, perhaps preparing him subtly for the dramatic shifts to come. But the truly significant life-altering turn came abruptly in late 1978.
And how old was he then?
At the tender age of just 12 years old, he made the profound decision to join the armed struggle.
12. Wow.
This moment, at such a remarkably young age, undeniably set the stage for a life shaped by both profound conflict and an unwavering dedication to the dream of his country's liberation. It's almost impossible for us to fully grasp the courage and conviction that must have fueled such a choice in a child.
Yeah, incredible. And if we step back and connect this to the broader picture of national development, his initial post-independence transition in 1992, returning to Asmara and joining the newly formed Ministry of Information, that was far from a simple job placement.
Yeah, definitely not.
It represented the practical challenges and, the immense opportunities of nation building from scratch. After 3 decades of arduous struggle, a new nation had to literally build its communication infrastructure, its public information systems from the very ground up. This wasn't just about filling existing roles. It was about creating the very fabric of public information and identity for a nascent state. Think about the sheer scale of establishing television, radio, and print media networks in a country emerging from war with limited resources but, boundless determination.
Yeah.
This was about establishing a national narrative, a collective voice, after years of silence and suppression.
Absolutely. And His personal commitment really shines through when you look at how he approached his early roles while concurrently pursuing education. He began at the ministry as a video editor.
Hands-on skill right away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A practical skill that immediately put him at the heart of content creation. But he clearly wasn't content with just practical application. Simultaneously, he pursued a Bachelor of Arts degree in business management at the University of Asmara.
While working as an editor.
While working, which he diligently completed in 2000. This dual commitment to acquiring both tangible technical media skills and a solid academic grounding in management is truly remarkable.
It really is.
Especially considering the nascent state of post-conflict Eritrea, where resources and opportunities for advanced education might have been scarce. It speaks volumes about his personal drive, his long-term vision, and his understanding that a nation's future needed both skilled technicians and strategic thinkers.
And what becomes strikingly evident here is how quickly he sought to broaden his perspective and technical capabilities through specialized international training. That's a clear sign of his forward-thinking approach.
Definitely. Where did you go?
Well, in 1995, he embarked on a 3-month course in TV journalism in Germany.
Germany. Okay.
This experience would have exposed him to international standards, best practices, and the technical intricacies of professional broadcast media. Just a year later, in 1996, he underwent another intensive course, this time in TV production directing in Japan.
Wow. Germany and Japan. Two powerhouses.
Exactly. Consider the implications. Within a few years of independence, he was immersing himself in 2 of the world's leading media environments. These experiences were pivotal, equipping him not just with new advanced skills, but also with a global understanding of media production and dissemination.
Right. Insights he could bring back.
Precisely. Insights he could then bring back to his burgeoning nation, effectively leapfrogging years of development. He wasn't just learning, he was bringing back a blueprint for modern media.
And he certainly put that international knowledge to profound use. From 1998 to 2009, he steadily traced his professional ascent within the Ministry of Information, serving with distinction as a director in the News and Current Affairs Department.
So right in the thick of it.
Deeply immersed in shaping the daily narrative of the new Eritrea. But here's where it gets really interesting.
Uh-oh.
While profoundly engaged in journalism, his underlying, almost clandestine passion for IT, or information technology, began to take hold.
The tech angle.
He recognized the coming digital wave. He started studying and researching the field diligently in 2000, dedicating over a decade to mastering its complexities. It's an unexpected yet utterly crucial convergence, isn't it?
It really is.
The art of storytelling and public information, meeting the complex, rapidly evolving technical world of digital infrastructure. It's a blend of soft skills and hard tech that very few people possess.
You don't see that combination often. And this development raises a critical question about the foresight required to truly integrate traditional media with digital advancements, particularly in a post-conflict nation like Eritrea,
Right.
that was still finding its footing. In 2009, Mr. Tombossa didn't just adapt. He spearheaded a fundamental organizational shift, the development of a unified newsroom department.
Unified. What did that entail?
Well, this wasn't merely an incremental adjustment. It was a comprehensive structural change. This new department served as an overarching umbrella for all traditional media branches, editing, radio, and print.
Yeah.
And he actively pushed for digitized platforms and workflows across the board. Furthermore, he held significant directorships in key areas, including the Tigrinya Radio Department and the Human Resources Development Department.
So he had influence across the board.
Absolutely. Demonstrating his influence across content and people, his vision was clearly to modernize, streamline, and centralize the entire information infrastructure, moving it into the 21st century.
And the culmination of that foresight and vision is truly impressive in its scale and ambition. Under his leadership, he successfully integrated all departments of the ministry into a centralized, server-based network and data center.
That sounds like a monumental task.
It really does. This wasn't just about setting up a few computers. Imagine trying to establish a secure, interconnected digital nervous system for an entire government ministry, starting almost from scratch, in a developing nation.
Yeah, the digital backbone.
Exactly. Building the digital backbone for critical information flow, crucial for transparency, efficiency, and the secure preservation of national data. It's a role he's been leading ever since.
Still leading it.
Still leading it, demonstrating both the longevity and the continued relevance of his pioneering work. It truly underscores the remarkable evolution of his career, from a young boy joining a liberation struggle, to a video editor, to a highly skilled journalist, and ultimately to a pioneering leader in digital infrastructure.
It's quite a journey.
Fundamentally, shaping how an entire nation manages and disseminates its information. His journey is a testament to constant adaptation and strategic foresight. Now, let's shift our focus to a profoundly impactful period of his life, a time that forms the direct basis for one of his seminal literary works and eliminates a unique aspect of Eritrea's armed struggle.
Okay.
In 1978, at that tender age of 12, Mr. Tombossa became part of the Keyahti Embaba, or Red Flowers Association.
The Red Flowers, right, you mentioned the book title.
Exactly.
Right.
This was a truly unique group, specifically formed for underage youth in towns that had been newly liberated by Eritrean fighters. He joined as a young, impressionable member right there on the ground.
So not just a name, a real organization.
A real, structured organization within the revolutionary movement, making his perspective on this period truly invaluable.
And the challenging circumstances that abruptly led this group to the front lines, I mean, that's a stark and painful reminder of the harsh realities faced by children in wartime.
It truly is.
When those newly liberated areas were unfortunately retaken by the enemy forces, the Red Flowers Association, including Mr. Tombossa and hundreds of other young people, had no choice but to move as a cohesive group directly to the front,
Right along with the fighters.
accompanying the retreating fighters. This immediately raises a crucial question about the imperative for protection, especially for children caught in the chaotic crossfire of conflict.
How do you protect them?
How does an organization, even a liberation front, ensure the safety and well-being of its youngest members under such extreme duress when their very lives are on the line? It must have been a perilous journey for these children.
Utterly terrifying, I imagine. And that's a profoundly critical point. And it leads us directly to a distinguishing characteristic of the Eritrean People's Liberation Front, or EPLF, during the struggle. Their strict and unwavering policy concerning children.
Okay, what was the policy?
The EPLF had a firm, unequivocal policy prohibiting underage children from participating in direct combat.
No child soldiers.
Explicitly. This rule was strictly enforced, even if the children, as in Mr. Tombossa's case, were physically capable and passionately eager to fight.
Even if they wanted to fight.
Even then. He personally experienced this redirection. Despite his fervent desire to join the armed combat and contribute directly to the fight for independence, he was sent somewhere else entirely. A decision that must have felt both frustrating and bewildering to a young, eager boy. But the EPLF stood firm on its principle, protecting his youth from the brutal realities of the battlefield.
And where he was sent was a revelation in itself.
The Revolution School.
The Revolution School. An institution he wasn't even aware existed until he was directed there. What's truly fascinating here, and often overlooked in broader narratives of conflict, is the sheer foresight and profound commitment of the EPLF in prioritizing education and actively protecting its youth, even amidst the most intense conflict. This wasn't some makeshift camp. The school itself was established as early as 1976.
Wow, early on.
And remarkably, already housed thousands of young students from other liberated areas. It continued to grow, educating these children, providing them with a curriculum, and fostering their development, despite facing frequent air raids.
Under air raids. Incredible.
And the constant threat of enemy forces. This wasn't just a temporary measure. It was a foundational commitment to the future.
Ensuring the next generation wasn't lost.
Exactly. Ensuring that the next generation was not lost to the ravages of war, but instead empowered with knowledge, discipline, and a sense of national purpose. It speaks volumes about the EPLF's long-term vision for a liberated Eritrea.
That commitment to education and cultural development evolved over time, as did the Red Flowers Cultural Troupe itself.
Yeah.
By 1985, the original Red Flowers Cultural Troupe,
With singers and performers?
yes, the ones who have performed to boost morale and spread the message of the struggle, was eventually dispersed. Its members were directed into different, evolving paths within the broader liberation movement.
So what happened to them?
Some were integrated into other larger cultural groups, continuing their artistic contributions. Others, if they had by then reached fighting age and met the physical requirements, were finally sent to the front lines.
So they eventually could fight, if old enough.
If they met the criteria, yes. Their eagerness now aligned with policy. And significantly, some joined the education department as teachers, effectively passing on the torch of knowledge they had received.
Coming full circle.
Right. This dispersion effectively marked the end of the original iteration of the troupe. showcasing the dynamic and adaptive nature of life during the struggle as roles shifted to meet the changing needs of the revolution.
And it's a powerful testament to the enduring impact of that education and the EPLF's investment in its youth that Mr. Tombossa himself eventually returned to the Revolution School.
He went back.
Not just as a former student, but as an instructor, passing on what he had learned and experienced.
Wow, that's amazing.
Creating a profound generational loop, linking the past to the present. And the legacy of the Red Flowers continued to flourish, albeit in a renewed form, demonstrating the deep cultural roots they had established.
How so?
Well, a lasting impression was later made by the first national marching band formed after Eritrea achieved its independence. This wasn't just any band, it was comprised of students from the new iteration of the Red Flowers.
Ah, a new generation.
Renowned throughout the new nation for its strength, discipline, and exceptional organization. This highlights how the principles nurtured during the armed struggle, discipline, education, cultural expression were deeply embedded and continue to thrive.
Embodying the spirit of a liberated nation.
Precisely.
It's clear that these formative experiences deeply shaped Mr. Tombossa, leading him to a powerful and urgent calling later in his life. Now let's shift our focus to the driving motivation behind his significant literary works.
Okay. The why.
Exactly. These are more than just books, they're acts of historical preservation. The urgency of documenting history that dates back nearly 50 years since 1976 is what fundamentally compelled him to write.
50 years is a long time. Memories fade.
They do. So what does this all mean for us, the listeners? It highlights the critical, almost desperate need to capture these narratives before time inevitably passes, before vivid memories fade into ambiguity, and before those with first-hand knowledge.
The witnesses themselves.
The witnesses to history pass away. It's a race against time, not just to preserve facts, but to safeguard the truth and the emotional texture of an entire generation's sacrifice.
And if we connect this to the broader picture of national identity and global historical records, Mr. Tombossa powerfully articulates that Eritrea is remarkably rich in both historical resources and deeply lived experiences.
A wealth of stories.
An immense wealth. This isn't just about a personal desire to tell stories. It's about a collective responsibility for the nation to preserve this immense wealth of knowledge for future generations, and indeed for the world.
Right.
His books directly aim to fulfill this vital legacy, ensuring that the immense sacrifices, the unique societal structures, and the profound human transformations that emerged during the struggle are never forgotten or misinterpreted.
So it's about building that record from within.
Exactly. Rooted in authentic experience rather than relying on external, potentially biased accounts. This is crucial for a young nation asserting its narrative.
Let's dive specifically into Keyahti Embaba, his book dedicated to the Red Flowers Association. What specific aspects of the armed struggle does this book detail for the reader?
Okay.
It focuses extensively on the formation of the Red Flowers, tracing their origins and purpose within the EPLF. It then meticulously describes their operational structure, how they function day to day,
The nuts and bolts.
and their significant impact, particularly highlighting the crucial role and importance of their cultural troops. These were not just entertainers, they were morale boosters, propagandists, and integral parts of the revolutionary fabric.
So much more than just kids singing songs.
Much more. The book, therefore, serves as a deep dive into that very specific, yet profoundly impactful aspect of the youth movement during the Eritrean struggle.
And then we turn to Kmehar Diye Kigadel, which directly translates to "Shall I learn or shall I fight?"
That title really says it all, doesn't it?
It really does. This book truly unpacked a profoundly emotional and ideological conflict faced by underage youth during the struggle. Their strong, almost visceral desire to fight for their country,
The passion of youth.
juxtaposed with the EPLF's steadfast and unyielding insistence on education instead of combat. Mr. Tombossa offers a powerful first-hand assertion here, serving as a direct counter-narrative to external claims.
Countering misinformation again.
Exactly. He states the EPLF never allowed child soldiers to take up arms. Instead, they rigorously prioritized education, going so far as to systematically instill the national curriculum in all liberated zones wherever possible, even amidst active conflict.
Education as a priority, even during war.
Yes. And this raises a crucial question about the moral and strategic wisdom embedded in such policies during wartime, prioritizing human development and a skilled future generation over immediate, desperate military gain.
It's long-term thinking.
Very much so. He passionately believes this discipline and foresight are not just commendable, but truly exemplary and absolutely deserve to be recorded for posterity, demonstrating a unique approach in nation building during revolution.
Beyond these powerful historical accounts, Mr. Tombossa also made an additional significant contribution to Eritrean literature with Setreb Supplementary Reader, published in 2008.
Setreb, what's that about?
This book steps outside the direct historical narrative to teach story and composition writing, but with a thoughtful and deliberate focus on Eritrea's rich cultural and ethnic diversity.
Ah, so fostering new writers, too.
Precisely. It showcases his broader commitment to literary development, moving beyond simply recounting history to actively fostering creative expression and a sense of shared national identity within the next generation. It's about empowering young Eritreans to tell their own stories.
Building on the foundation he helped lay, that's great. But it's vital for us to appreciate the immense personal challenge Mr. Tombossa faced in writing these significant books.
It couldn't have been easy.
No. He directly states with profound conviction, writing these books was extremely challenging due to time constraints, but if we don't document our own experiences, who will?
That really hits home.
It does. This isn't just a lament about a busy schedule. It highlights the profound personal sacrifice and unwavering dedication involved in his literary endeavors. He was holding down a demanding full-time job.
The IT leadership role.
Right. Managing a family and then dedicating countless additional hours to painstaking research, interviews, and writing. He understood the profound urgency of the moment, the window of opportunity to capture these vanishing memories. And he took it upon himself to ensure these vital stories saw the light of day, often at great personal cost. It underscores the idea that historical preservation often falls to those who lived it, out of a deep sense of duty.
A sense of duty, absolutely. Now, this next detail really drew my attention and offers a powerful visual dimension to his work.
Oh, what's that?
If you look at the covers of his two key books, Keyahti, Embaba, and Kmehar, Diye, Kigadel, you'll notice distinct, captivating female faces adorning them.
Ah, the covers, yes.
It immediately makes you wonder, what powerful stories do these images convey, and why were these specific individuals chosen to represent his narratives? They feel almost as important as the text within.
That's a great observation. And the choice of these faces is profoundly symbolic, and each tells a compelling individual narrative that resonates deeply with the spirit of the books.
Okay, tell us about them.
The woman gracing the cover of Keyahti Embaba is Yordanos Ayasu. She was celebrated as one of the very best singers in the original Red Flowers cultural troupe.
Ah, so directly linked to the book subject.
Exactly. Her image immediately connects to the very heart of that book's content, the vibrant, artistic, and morale-boosting role of youth in the struggle.
Okay, and the other book.
Then on the rear cover of Kmehar Diye Kigadel, we see Yerjelambare. She was not just a dedicated freedom fighter, but also Mr. Tombossa's classmate and assistant during their unit's peer leadership.
Wow, a personal
A
connection.
deeply personal connection, highlighting shared experience of youthful responsibility amidst conflict. And finally, the woman on the front cover of Kmehar Diye Kigadel is Eritrea Okbe.
Eritrea Okbe. The name sounds familiar.
It should. She's a figure of immense national significance, as she's the very person featured on the one Nakfa currency note.
On the money, really?
Yes, a daily reminder of her heroism and sacrifice. These are not abstract figures. They are real women etched into the national consciousness.
Wow. So these aren't just random, aesthetically pleasing faces. They are meticulously chosen. Mr. Tombossa selected them because all three of these women were martyred, heroic figures. For him, they embody the ultimate courage and spirit, the profound sacrifice he wanted to symbolize and honor through his books. Discussing how this choice brings such a deeply human and emotional dimension to the historical narrative, it really emphasizes the personal cost.
It makes it real.
The profound sacrifice that truly underpinned the Eritrean struggle for independence. It transforms the abstract idea of a fight for freedom into a tangible narrative of individual lives lived and lost. It makes the history far more accessible and emotionally resonant.
Absolutely. More than just a recitation of dates and events. And what's truly striking here is how such deliberate and thoughtful choices in book design can amplify the emotional resonance of historical accounts.
It's visual storytelling.
Exactly. And ensure the remembrance of key figures for generations to come. It's a powerful visual language, a silent but profound dedication. By featuring real, named, and highly symbolic individuals, particularly women who often played critical but under-recognized roles. Mr. Tombossa doesn't just write history. He makes it tangible, immediate, and deeply relatable. These faces become a powerful gateway for readers, especially the younger generation, to connect with the immense bravery, the quiet determination, and the ultimate sacrifice of the Eritrean women.
Ensuring their legacy lives on.
Through the very covers of his impactful work. It's an act of remembrance, etched in print.
It's clear that his dedicated work is already having a significant and tangible impact. Let's talk about the remarkable success of his recent book launch.
Okay, how did it go?
Mr. Tombossa described it as a wonderful event, and he noted, quite remarkably, that the audience stayed until the very end, providing overwhelmingly positive feedback.
That's always a good sign. Means they were engaged.
Definitely. Indicates a genuine hunger for these narratives. And to add another deeply moving layer of meaning to the event, veterans who had fought alongside him were honored with complimentary symbolic gifts.
Honoring the veterans. Nice touch.
A gesture that made the entire gathering deeply meaningful and inspiring. It sounds like it resonated profoundly with those who attended, forging a vital connection between the past and present.
Between the chronicler and the living history, yeah.
Exactly.
And this successful reception naturally leads us to a crucial question about the intended audience for these books, which Mr. Tombossa clarifies with great conviction.
Right. Who are they really for?
He explicitly states, these books are not primarily for the older generation, those who lived through those tumultuous times. As he puts it, they could likely add more to what I've written from their own experiences.
So not for his peers, necessarily.
No. Instead, he says these works are primarily and strategically for the younger generation to help them understand what it took to achieve what they enjoy today.
Passing the torch.
Yes. And he stresses a dire warning, a profound concern for the future. Without that awareness, appreciation for our independence will fade. And with it, perhaps, the very foundations of our nation. This underscores his mission to educate, to instill gratitude, and to ignite a vital, unbreakable connection to their nation's arduous past.
And crucially, his work directly confronts a significant, damaging issue: persistent attempts to distort history.
Yes. The distortion.
He specifically mentions sporadic allegations here and there that the EPLF used child soldiers, for instance.
Right. That old claim.
This is where his first-hand account becomes an incredibly powerful, undeniable counter-narrative to misinformation, a direct challenge to those who would rewrite the past. These allegations, he argues, threaten to undermine the very integrity of the historical record.
And the sacrifices made, indeed. And Mr. Tombossa offers a uniquely powerful first-hand rebuttal to these damaging allegations.
How so? What does he say?
He directly recounts his personal experience as a 12-year-old boy who desired passionately to fight, eager to contribute to the struggle, but who was unequivocally sent to the revolution school instead.
His own story is the rebuttal.
Exactly. He states clearly and emphatically that the EPLF did not allow underage children to take up arms. On the contrary, approximately 10,000 physically fit youth were, in fact, kept from battle and diligently placed in schools where they received a structured education.
10,000. That's a specific number.
A very specific number from someone who was there in that system. His direct challenge, who better to correct the record than those of us who lived it, is a crucial detail for the listener to grasp.
It's hard to argue with that.
It really is. It's not just an argument. It's a lived, verifiable experience that speaks volumes, making it incredibly difficult to refute or dismiss. His personal story is a microcosm of a much larger, deliberate policy.
This brings us to a crucial responsibility, as articulated by Mr. Tombossa, for the older generations, for those who lived through this history.
What does he think they should do?
He believes they must do everything they can to document and share these stories, emphasizing the importance of doing so through focused, engaging books.
Not just oral history, but written records.
Exactly. It's a powerful call to action, a generational mandate for those who lived the history to ensure its accurate and compelling preservation for the future through tangible, accessible, written records. He sees a collective duty,
a collective duty to record this monumental chapter. And the immediate impact of his work is already evident and remarkably widespread, particularly for a new publication.
How widespread?
Keyahti Embaba was not only one of the widely read books in Eritrea in 2024, but it has quickly become a reference and must-read material by all units across the Eritrean armed forces.
Wow, used by the military itself.
Yes. If we connect this to the broader picture of national identity and military cohesion, this demonstrates the immense power of authentic, accessible historical accounts in shaping contemporary understanding.
And strengthening national pride and discipline.
Precisely. When the very people who protect a nation are using these books as a foundational reference for their training and understanding, it speaks volumes about their credibility, their relevance, and their profound contribution to the collective national spirit.
And that ultimately truly brings home the vital importance of these connections between generations. It's not just about history lessons. It's about heritage,
Identity.
about national identity, and fundamentally, about the strength and cohesion of a nation's future. When these connections are robust and the younger generation understands the sacrifices of the past, a nation stands on firmer ground.
More resilient and unified.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this deep dive, we've explored Mr. Tombossa Asmelash Berhe's extraordinary dedication to preserving a crucial yet often misunderstood period of Eritrean history.
It's been quite a journey to follow.
It really has. His unique blend of firsthand personal experience, rigorous journalistic training, and groundbreaking technological foresight has given us invaluable insights into the multifaceted challenges and triumphs of a nation in the making. We've seen how his two seminal books, Keyahti Embaba and Kmehar Diye Kigadel, serve not just as historical records, but as powerful narratives that capture both a profound emotional depth and the factual accuracy of the armed struggle.
And that crucial policy point.
Absolutely. Crucially, they highlight the Eritrean People's Liberation Front's remarkable and truly forward-thinking policy on education for youth, even amidst the most challenging circumstances of conflict. His work is a testament to the power of truth and meticulous documentation.
And to broaden the relevance of this discussion beyond the borders of Eritrea, the profound act of documenting lived experiences, as Mr. Tombossa has so diligently done, is not merely about preserving one nation's history.
No, it's bigger than that.
It's about enriching collective human understanding, providing invaluable lessons for all societies grappling with conflict, development, and the shaping of national identity. In an era often overwhelmed by information and misinformation.
Which is definitely our era.
These authentic accounts become powerful tools, effectively countering the tide of revisionist histories and propaganda. What's truly fascinating here is the universal message about the enduring, almost unshakable power of authentic storytelling.
Cutting through the noise.
To cut through the noise and offer undeniable truth, ensuring that the sacrifices and wisdom of the past continue to inform our present and future.
So, as you reflect on Mr. Tombossa's remarkable journey and his commitment to historical truth, what does this all mean for you, our listener?
Yeah, what's the takeaway?
In an age where narratives can be easily distorted, fabricated, or simply forgotten, how important is it for us to actively seek out and support authentic voices like his? How much do we value documented experiences, especially those that challenge prevailing narratives?
Good question.
And perhaps most importantly, how often do we consider the untold stories within our own families, our communities, or even your professional fields of interest that are waiting to be shared, waiting to be preserved before they too fade into the silence of time?
Stories everywhere, waiting to be told.
Exactly. We encourage you to reflect on these ideas and perhaps explore similar profound historical accounts that resonate with you. The past is always calling, and there are always new, invaluable stories to uncover if we only take the time to listen and to seek.